Hi, my friends. It's Ashley at the Iron Underneath. It's been a while. I've been on holiday for almost a month. It's insane. So I need to start posting, and I promise you I will. I'm so grateful for my subscribers. I've got a few new ones. I'm up to 25, and I could not be happier. Thank you so much, and please keep watching. Um, I came home last night to the most beautiful episode of Game of Thrones that I had to do a video on it. It it really was one that I cried all the way through almost. It had so much from the books in it that, they tell us they're gonna break away from the books, and I'm sure they are, but that was quite an homage to the books, and I think that they will put quite a bit in that we want, And I'm sorry if I'm bleary-eyed and I'm exhausted. I've been traveling, but still I'm drinking Red Bull and I'm gonna make this video. So let's talk about it. It you know it opened with Bran, which was so cool. I we all wanted it to open with Jon, I'm sure, but opening with Bran was just fine. It was fabulous. And, then we get why it's called home. And it should have been obvious to me why it was called home. Everybody's been away from home for so long, they've lost their homes. This was the big one, though, was Winterfell. And Bran getting to see Ned and Benjen uh, fighting with wooden swords, and Ned being even a sweetheart then, telling Benjen to keep his shield up, and Sir Roderick training him, and everybody, like Bran said, they were all so happy. And then Lyanna comes riding in. That was so cool because it was just, everybody was so happy. It was like the the day that all the smiles died. That line about the tourney of Harrenhal when Rhaegar crowned Lyanna Queen of Love and Beauty. They say that's the day all the smiles died. It was the same kind of thing, Bran saying they were all so happy, and then Lyanna riding in on a white horse. That was love riding in on a white horse, and it was sadly what destroyed the Seven Kingdoms, started wars. It destroyed the Targaryens. It destroyed, maybe, we'll see what happened really, and we'll see next week. But it did tear apart the Starks, and it did some serious damage, especially to Ned's life and the secrets he had to hold, and I can't wait to see what they were. I really can't wait. So, and I can't wait for that battle. So, anyway, uh, so then we see Hodor, and in the books his name is Walder, but Willis is so sweet. I'm fine with Willis. Willis is great. So just, old Nan carting him off by the ear saying, "You're not playing with wooden swords." That was a bit of foreshadowing from the books that I won't blow, that I just think is, I still think the word Hodor means something different, though. And I wonder if this makes it, if this means that it means home. I've always kind of thought it did. Like, Hodor was just an innocent wanting to go home. And, or trying to talk about home, or trying to tell you who he was, or something. And he just couldn't. All I could say was Hodor. So I've always felt like that meant home. I don't know. I could be totally off. But then, Bloodraven said something really interesting when Bran asked him why he ripped him away from from his home once he finally got there. And what he said was, "It's beautiful beneath the sea, but if you stay too long, you will drown." And that was just like, the drowned god, but also all the gods, I think, are just being referenced constantly in this episode as, when you believe the God exists, when you believe you get resurrected, when you believe, you know, you might be you might drown, or it was a reference to the drowned God, and I don't know why. I would love to hear in the comments if you why you think he said that. Um, Maybe just that he'll drown in his own warging, he'll be malnourished and die. I don't, because he won't take care of himself. I don't know. Anyway, it was so cool what happened next when Mira was outside, and kind of made me a little nervous that she didn't like to be in that cave. Actually, I don't blame her. But with her blood, being of the children of the forest and being around all those bones, and just, it must be bizarre with those two working like that. And, but what was cool is Leaf saying, "Brandon Stark needs you," and that they won't be in the tree long, and that he needs her out there. That, to me, said that Brandon Starks have been, we all know they've been there for, Brandon Starks have lived forever. And so maybe to the children, whose one day is like 1,000 years to us, maybe it's just the same, another Brandon Stark. It's not how we think of it. So his name is Brandon Stark again, and he's just like all the others. So it it also made me think that the tree might be burned down by the Night's King, because now I kind of am starting to believe that, because of that, of her saying he's going to need you out there. That made me kind of nervous. But then we go to Castle Black, and we've got John laying there, and I just went, oh my God, if he lays there any longer, we all know from the Varamir Sixskins chapter what happens if a warg is in his body dead for too long, or in any body dead for too long, trying to body jump or stay alive. And John doesn't know how to warg, really, doesn't know his powers, so he was just stuck in Ghost and probably very confused. And so, but what was so great about that scene is that, you think it's going to be the resurrection, you think it's finally going to happen, and then Alistair Thorne starts at the door again. Now it's all let Ghost go north, which please, and then then 1-1. Then the banging starts, and it's 1-1, and oh, that was so cool, because first of all, I just love 1-1 more than anything in the world. And then Tormund comes running in with the wildlings. Oh, I love it. It was beautiful. And 1-1 gets shot by Sir Patrick Mallister, and the greatest thing is that they did the little tribute to George, which came from the books, which comes from his life, which is a guy named Patrick something, who is a friend of his and is a Dallas Cowboys fan, and so he's a Giants fan, and so he had 1-1 swinging above his head like a bleeding star, and that's how he went out. It was a glorious death, but it was so great to see 1-1 grab him and slam him on the wall and back down on the ground. It was great. I love it when 1-1 tears people apart. But this show's making me a sadist. Anyway, then, then it was kind of great that, Davos's Davos has got Longclaw. They all go over to Tormund's side, to the Wildling side, with Wormlin and Tormund. And that was really, really cool to see. That was, I didn't expect it to happen like that. And that was so perfect. And it was like, yes, and we're going to keep the honor. We're not going to let the Night's Watch fall into this darkness that it's in. Now we're going to be honorable again. And this is what Jon would have done. He would have taken them to the ice cells, or to the cells, and locked them up. And he would have, you know, had a little bit of a trial. It wouldn't have been, a Jon wouldn't have done it like that, let's just say. And Dolores did it the way Jon would have done it. And I thought that was great. And I don't think Ollie's going to die. I really don't. I think he's going to probably be one of those characters that hangs around for Jon's, kind of like a Harris to Jon. Harris to Achilles. Or he could be more like, a Gollum sort of figure to Jon, where he just kind of is always there and then in the end doesn't inadvertently, saves. I don't know. I just don't think Ollie's going to die. The guy, Cersei in King's Landing, when we get to Cersei and this guy is bragging in the streets about the queen, looking at him while she's walking by in her walk of shame. And she remembered that guy. I remember that guy. He was like, I want to fuck the queen or something like that. He said some vulgar thing. And she remembered him, and she sent Sir Robert Strong after him, and he smashed his head against the wall. So she is not going to forget one person, not even a commoner. That was kind of cool. I don't know if I should go through the whole thing because this is getting long. I mean, the Jaime and the High Sparrow part was really, really brilliant. The fact that Jaime found himself surrounded by Faith Militant was really reminiscent of why we need to get rid of the Faith Militant. Before, I think it was with Maegor the Cruel, I think, or Jaehaerys finally did it. But it needs to happen again. I mean, that was, Jaime looked actually almost a little nervous. And he did, the High Sparrow threatened the Lannisters, basically. He said, we can talk about empire. That right now is the Lannisters. So he definitely threatened him in the midst of an army. He is a bold man, isn't he? Excuse me. Walking up on a family mourning like that was bizarre. Really, the only other thing I wanted to talk about is I like too how they had the High Sparrow explain the marks on the eyes and what that's about, to not fear death and to close the eyes to on this world and open them to the next. I liked how he explained that. And I think that's from, I'm not going to butcher anything right now. I'm exhausted. So anyway, the other part was just basically that, tyranny in the Dread. First of all, I have to say, can we just leave the comedy to Tyrion and Varys, please? And Bronn and Ed. They're all fabulous at it, even Jaime. And, really, these guys are so funny. The eunuch joke was hilarious to Grey Worm, and even he thought it was funny. Varys' little dwarf joke that he tells dwarf jokes all the time. Oh, I do, and, well, you think them. They're just hilarious, and we don't need any sand snakes who can't do accents. Oh, Bara Sand, thank you very much. We don't need it. Just leave it to these guys, please. They're so brilliant. It was so great because it brought in a little bit of the Dance of Dragons and why you can't leave dragons in captivity and what killed the dragons in the Dance of Dragons and how the Targaryens lost the knowledge of how to take care of their dragons. And so they died. And it's iffy why they died, really, but anyway, it was nice to see that. And it was nice to hear the line, dragons are more intelligent than men, some maesters would say, because dragons do, they choose their own riders. And that scene with Tyrion and the dragons it was the Time Machine legend and Lady Hawk and every wonderful movie and story and fairy tale rolled into one, and it was straight from the books. Tyrion's story about wanting a dragon when he was little. He dreamt about dragons, and he wanted a dragon so badly, and he was just fascinated with them. And of course, like you said, his uncle asked him what he wanted for his name day, and he said, a dragon as little as me. And everybody laughed, and Tywin made him feel horrible, of course. So it was a really sad story, but it was just made right by him telling the story to the dragons. And it was almost like they understood, and they definitely understood that he was their friend, and I think even more than that, because by the time Viserion, I think it was Viserion, turned his head, like, take off my chain, you can tell that that's going to be, Tyrion's going to get to ride a dragon, and Tyrion's going to, his dreams are going to come true. It's going to make me cry talking about it. It really was just the sweetest thing in the world. So anyway, I'm just blown away that Roose got it. I can't believe it. I was one of the people who did not believe that Roose was going to get it. Even the actor didn't think he was going to get it. He thought he was going to be there till season 7. It's insane. So, and Fat Walda to the dogs with the baby. Oh my God. At least they didn't show it. That's all I have to say about that. And, you know, oh my God, so Winterfell is his. And there were the Karstarks, and he did say the Umbers and the Manderleys. So I really hope that this is not going to change everything, because we have already heard from the Great John, and the North Remembers is very important, and it's already been made a big part of it, this. So, Lord Too Fat to Sit a Horse, Wyman Manderley, we've got to see him flip. And so, hopefully, when John comes flying into battle, they're all going to turn. But I can't believe there's going to be one of the Flayed guys burning. That is the insult. I always thought it's an insult for the Boltons to burn, because they flay and they hang upside there. They hang, but they don't burn. And so I always thought it was an insult for that to be happening. And so I think it is. I think it's Ramsay saying, fuck you, this is mine, and I can kill whoever I want, even my own father. So, to get it. So, that was crazy. And, Brienne's line and that scene with Theon and Sansa summed it all up. Just, we've all had hard choices to make, Brienne said. And that scene between Sansa and Theon, it was another bawling moment where, she almost didn't even want to let him go, because he is going to spend the rest of his life. He is a Gollum character. I heard James Johnson say that once, that he's kind of a Gollum sort of character who will never forgive himself and never let himself be forgiven. And he said it, I don't want to be forgiven. And he's going to go home, which is the only person, who probably shouldn't go home, because Euron's there. Oh my God, how cool was that? Oh, that was so cool. I've been waiting and waiting for Euron, and this actor is so cool that's playing him, and that scene was gorgeous. That scene was so wild and so foreboding and so evil, and Euron just, he didn't even need the eye patch. He didn't even need the blue lips, really. With him saying, I mean, they explained it all in 5 seconds. Just, I am the drowned god. I am the storm. And Balon's going, you went crazy at sea. What kind of Ironborn are you? And he said, I am the storm. But you cut off the tongues the your crew. Well, I wanted silence. That Euron is wild, and I am so excited to see what he does. And Yara is going to have a crazy time on her hands. So the only other thing is, the moment we've all been waiting for. And I sobbed and sobbed and sobbed and sobbed because I think it was an outlet of all the emotion of waiting for this for so damn long, and knowing that it's going to happen, but you hear he's not coming back that many times, and you think, oh my God, are they really going to do it? And when I saw Ghost not get up and everybody leave the room, I thought, oh, they're going to do it. They're going to flip something on us, on the viewers. No. He was always going to be resurrected. That's the hero's journey, and there it was. Oh, so beautiful. And the way Davos begged for Jon Snow's life from Melisandre. I did a video on Davos's true purpose being Jon Snow. He drowned, and he was told by the mother when he wanted to die. He was stranded on that rock in the Blackwater after the battle, and he said, I want to die, and the mother said, you have the larger purpose. You have to go. You have to flag down that ship and get out of here. So Jon Snow is Davos' purpose, and really, what more gallant purpose? Stannis was gallant until he started with R'hllor, and so now Jon's been brought back by the Lord of Light. But see, the thing I'm starting to think is, when I think about the Lord of Light and this resurrection stuff with Thoros and Beric and Mel and Jon, I think about Thoros of Myr throwing his body on Beric Dondarrion's and praying and crying. He loves Beric. And so it felt to me like, Melisandre's spell wasn't working. And that was obviously because she was having a hard time believing in herself. But at the same time, I think that the spell itself isn't what does it. It's like whatever Mirri Maz Duur had going on. It's whatever else is going on around them. And I think it's the love. I really think it's the love. Everybody in that tent loved Jon Snow, loved him. Ed, Davos, Tormund, Mel, and Ghost. And I think Jon was in Ghost. And I think that, he was out there lost like Boromir Sixskins was. Hopefully he wasn't too freaked out, but I really can't wait to see him come back, because they are going to think he's a god, and it's going to be wild. It's going to be so wild. But the moment she walked out of the room and Davos stayed and waited for a minute, and finally it happened, just really cheers, HBO. And David and Dan, you guys did it. You did it. You did it. You did it right. Thank you so much. It was gorgeous. And really, like, Academy Award performances all the way around. So, I will be doing a lot more videos this week. Please forgive me for being away for so long. And please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for my new subscribers. I love you. I'm so happy. And I'll be giving away the hats the next video. So stay tuned, and so great to see you all. Hope you enjoyed the episode as much as I did. I don't know how any of us couldn't have. It was just perfect. So, lots of love. See you soon. Everybody's been away from home for so long, they've lost their homes. This was the big one, though, was Winterfell, and Bran getting to see Ned and Benjen uh, fighting with wooden swords, and Ned being even a sweetheart then.